It's a humbling feeling. I just, very thankful. The Liberty's always been my home, and to be able to have this honor and, go into the Hall of Fame with those who are already there is, very humbling and just very, very grateful. No, coming to Liberty was more of a byproduct of a divine intervention because of, being local. I wasn't a Christian growing up, and of course, growing up then with Dr. Falwell, it was Liberty Baptist College, and just the religious impact that it was making. Not being a Christian, I had no interest in going to a Christian school. Until I met Coach Worthington, and it was because of him and knowing right away that I didn't care about what the school was. I wanted to be with him, and because there was something different about him. Well, it came at a point in my life was very impactful. In my senior year in high school, one of my closest friends was killed in a motorcycle accident, and his name was Tim Hill, and he actually was here at Liberty. He had come to school here, and Tim had gotten saved 2 weeks before, prior to his accident, and I met Coach Worthington at Timmy's house there, and didn't know who he was until I got there, and then he sat down and talked to me. We didn't talk about baseball. I couldn't remember the conversation other than him praying for me and talking with me. But the genuineness and the honesty and just the way he carried himself was it made an impact on me to where. When ultimately he called about playing baseball, that it was an easy choice then. Well, that was here at Liberty, November 4th, 1985. So I came my freshman year, and it went from going to church 2-3 times a year to going 7 to 8 times a week, and hearing the gospel pretty much every day, and it was for me it was great, the greatest thing in my life, because it was what I certainly needed. As I got here and the first few months, I really started to understand the gospel and really started to see God's love for me, and of course I had the great opportunity of seeing that fulfilled and lived out before me every day by Coach Worthington. Well, when you're that young, you don't really think about it because you're out competing in the game, and it was one of those where I wasn't going to come out. I felt fine, and obviously I would assume then my pitch count wasn't that high to be able to continue, But Coach Worthington was always real good about recognizing if a guy was tired or fatigued or making choices to come out, and so it was a good day, and one of that one for the memories. I think it's just the state of the game now with so many guys being specialized, and with bullpens and the way that pitching staffs are built, that they're wanting to be very strong at the end of the games, and it's just the state of mind that being in control of the game the whole time. If a starter certainly has the stuff to go the complete game, they will, but the mindset now with pitch count and somewhat of taking care of the arms is a little more emphasis, but the managers want to know that they have a guy coming out of the bullpen that's as strong as a starter if he can. It's always a thing of making sure that he stays in control of the game, and the state of the game today with guys throwing so hard, that you know, there's more guys throwing 95 or better, upwards of 100 miles an hour than there ever has been. So, and that's pretty hard to hit. So coming in, bringing in a guy for one inning, you know, throwing 100, it increases your odds very, very much. Well, I think I wasn't the most talented. I knew that, you know, by scout standards of that, but I had a very big heart, and that was one of the things that the coaches talked about, was being a bulldog. I had no fear, basically, when I stepped on the mound. It didn't matter who I was facing. I believed in what I could do, and you know, went out and competed. And you know, a part of that was, you know, learning from Coach Worthington how to pitch, and adapting it to my style of pitching, knowing that I didn't throw that hard. I threw hard enough, you know, but making my stuff better because of changing speeds and being able to recognize and read hitters' swings and things, all the advanced parts of pitching I was able to do, and as well as throw the ball where I wanted to. And you know, but that's, you have to be a bulldog when you step on the mound. There's no room for fear. I do. My first game in the big leagues was in Philadelphia, and I remember walking into that clubhouse for the first time, big league clubhouse for as a player, and you know, just the atmosphere of, you know, and the anxiousness and, you know, excitement that you get. It was you know, it was a great feeling. I walked into kind of a funny story with Jim Leland, who was my manager. He was in an argument with the other coaches in his locker room, you know, in his room, over Notre Dame. He loved Notre Dame football, and they were arguing over some game that was happening there. So I walked in the middle of that, and you know, he turned around and asked me if I was the chaplain, because it was Sunday, because I was in the suit, you know, like this, and you know, and then he brushed it off. He says, "I know you are, Randy. Good to see you." So it was kind of amazing. So. Well, I mean, playing on any championship team is a great experience. One that you know, you'll remember, you know, for the rest of your life. And the challenges and the grind of the season. The major league season is so long that you know, you're fighting for each game every day, and just the satisfaction of getting and competing and ending up on top is, you know, was one that's very fulfilling. And obviously, you know, we didn't make it to the World Series, thanks to Sid one year, but it was just an awesome feeling. The guys that I played with, you know, were some of the best to ever play the game, and I took advantage of that while I was there to you know, to watch and to learn and to see how they did, you know, performed, and pick up as much as I could from them. Yeah, I was fortunate to come up, and when Sid was still with the Pirates, and actually stayed with him at his house. So the clubhouse already had a very good core group of Christians amongst the team, and had you know, some established influence. But in the clubhouse, it's always about you know, perception. It's all about not just talk. It's about your actions, and you know, and baseball has a way of bringing out a lot of things, you know, character-wise, especially during games, because it's an extreme challenge, and you know, that's where you get the opportunity to be a living witness as much as a talking one. I knew when I was done playing, I wanted to be a coach, and you know, the Lord afforded me opportunity to come back here and be a coach and part of the university, and it was a special time for me. I really grew as a man, as a coach, and the time that I was able to invest in the kids that I had was just very special. I don't. to give back is, I think, is what we're all called to do. It's to give our lives for others. And God has blessed me to be able to stay in baseball and be a coach still, and that's what I've been trained my whole life to do, and to give the opportunity to do it here at Liberty and help the program continue to grow and invest in the lives of those guys was very fulfilling.